The history of sewing using needles dates back to the early days of human civilization. The needles are made of various materials. Some are made of stone, copper, bone, or ivory. The rough needles are used to join animal skins into clothes, while the thread used is made from animal muscle. Metal needles were used around the 14th century, which are the needles with holes that are common today. In 1755, a German immigrant, Charles Wiesenthal, who lived in England, patented his invention of a needle which he specially designed for a machine. Unfortunately, the patent does not detail the machine that uses the needle. Next, an English wardrobe maker, Thomas Saint, who also patented the sewing machine in 1790. It's unknown whether Saint actually prototyped the machine in use at the time, or simply patented it for royalties, if that machine could be built. To be sure, Thomas Saint details in his patent a sharp object that can punch a hole in the skin and insert a needle into an existing hole. One step ahead of Wiesenthal. But the reproduction of science's findings turned out to be inoperable. This patent matter was also forgotten by Balthasar Krems. This German national invented an automatic machine for sewing hats in 1810. He didn't patent his invention, and it said the engine never worked properly. Efforts to make sewing machines have never faded. Many have ended up causing patent wars. They both made a sewing machine in 1818, but in the end the machine failed when it was used to sew a number of fabrics. A working sewing machine was invented by Barthélemy Thimonier in 1830. This machine uses only one thread and a hook needle like an embroidery or embroidery needle. Unfortunately, these findings did not get a good response from the public. In fact, he was almost killed when a number of tailors set fire to his garment factory for fear of competition and causing unemployment due to the invention of his sewing machine. Once again, an American tried to make a sewing machine and succeeded in 1834, whose name was Walter Hunt. But strangely, he was not happy with his findings, because he felt his findings would lead to unemployment. The peak of the invention of the sewing machine occurred in the United States, which was invented by Elias Howe. His machine uses two threads from opposite directions and has a needle with a hole for the thread at the end. The needle was pushed through the fabric and made a kind of bend in the thread on the underside of the fabric. A thread from the other direction was threaded into the surroundings. Then the two threads made a weave that locked the fabric. It is said that this finding inspired his dream. In his dream, Howe was stabbed in the stomach by a cannibal with a spear in his sleep. The shape of the tip of the spear was the inspiration for creating the needle he had been looking for a long time. But after his invention, Howe was faced with the problem of defending the patent and marketing his invention. In the end, he fought for 9 years. The patent war itself broke out when Isaac Singer invented the up and down mechanism in the sewing machine and Alan Wilson developed the spinning hook. Sewing machines didn't become a mass-produced item until the 1850s. After Isaac Singer succeeded in making a sewing machine with a sewing needle that could move the foot pedal, then the success of selling sewing machines commercially opened up. Before, the old sewing machine moved the needle from the side and moved it by hand. However, Isaac Singer's machine employs Howe's patented two-thread braiding mechanism. So Elias Howe sued Isaac Singer for a similar patent and won the case in 1854. Actually, Walter Hunt applied a thread braid from two sources of thread and a perforated needle. But the court ruled that the patent went to Howe after Hunt canceled his patent.